Talk about young shakes. Chicago 2 represent. Just change. And this for my city.
Hey, I do it for my city. Dog, I don't plan on going down. If he think I'm going down, then he gon' first round for my city. Dog, I ain't never.
Hello, this is Lacy Rice Jr. of Rice Fame Group, welcoming you to chat with HBCU Champions Season 2, Episode 8, featuring head coach Tynesha Lewis from Elizabeth City State University, whose team won the 2023 CIAA Championship. Congratulations, Coach, and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yeah, finally put the trophy in the trophy case. Been walking around with it for about 3 weeks. So yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Okay. Well, I know sometimes it's hard to let it go.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but that's something you got to do.
Yeah, got to move forward a little bit,
including about your coaching experience.
Tynesha, small town kid, 252, Macclesfield, North Carolina. Population 407, 406 since I left. We got 2 caution lights and got a grocery store called Grocery Store. So small town, big dreams, big heart, great people. Went to Southwest Edgecombe, played there for 4 years, varsity. Did pretty much everything academically and athletically. Top 10% of my class, graduated, recruited by pretty much everybody. UConn, Tennessee. But something about Coach Al. I say all the time she could have coached anywhere and I would have went and played for her. And played for Coach Al for 4 years. Great experience. I graduated there with a chemistry and biology degree. I was 4-year starter there as well. All ACC selection, rookie of the year. Drafted playing in the WBA in, I think, the second round. Projected first round, but something happened. I was like Levi, you know what I'm saying? But I was at the house, you know what I'm saying? I was at the house, so I wasn't embarrassed in front of everybody, just embarrassed on the inside. But drafted and then played 6 years professional. Houston, Minnesota, and Charlotte. Had an opportunity to play with Cheryl Swoops, Tina Thompson, Don Stanley, Charlotte Smith, just to name a few, just to be in the same room with them. And to guard Simone Augustus. That's why I'm a defensive guru, because I had to guard Cheryl Swoops and Simone Augustus and Don Staley. That's enough to get you right. So we guard over here. And then after 6 years, I went into pharmaceutical sales with my degrees in chemistry and biology for about 3 years. Did really well. Picked up, coached, started with boys, middle school. Just they needed a coach. I was available. I liked it. I love coaching boys, actually. And a couple years later, I got into teaching. I was teaching a little while. And my coach that coached me at NC State, the assistant coach, Glance, called me. She was at Illinois State. And she said, hey, you want to coach? When you tell like Division I people like you want to coach, it happens so fast. Like it was a Sunday afternoon conversation. I was like, yeah, I think I do. She was like, can you be ready Tuesday? Like Monday, Tuesday? Vans were pulling up, packing me up, and we were gone. So I did that for a year, and Glance decided she didn't want to coach anymore. Or she was going to Columbia, I'm sorry. And I was like, hey, I got to have some grass. You know what I'm saying? New York, Columbia, I'm not built. I already know. I'm just not built for cement and asphalt. I need to see some trees, some grass somewhere, So she went, and I went back home to coach to teach for a little while. And then my friend got a job at North Carolina Central. And then I was there with her for 2-3 years, going into the third year. And George Bright from ECSU gave me a call, asked was I interested in the head coaching position. here. And I was like, I talked to my boss, my friend. I was like, what you think? You think I'm ready? She said, go ahead. So applied for the job. Didn't hear anything for a while after the interview. So going on about my life. And then around my birthday, which is coming up in a little bit, they're like, we decided to go with you. I was like, who? They don't mess around, gave me a head coaching job. They are messed up now. So here at Elizabeth City, thank God for COVID. You know, that COVID, if we had played the COVID season, everybody been questioning whether I can coach. Let me tell you that right now. So thank God for COVID. So we didn't play that season. And then, we just practiced, got to know each other over mental health. They got to know me. Then the second season, we made it to the championship. We were projected to finish ninth. We finished second. Got coach of the year, defensive player of the year, and a couple other. My kids got, I guess, conference player. I don't know what you call it, but they got something. And our academic team from my squad, I think they had like a 3.2 GPA as a team. Super proud of that. And then this year, second year, we projected to finish first, second. I can't remember. We were terrible most of the year. I felt like, but they figured it out at the end and rolled off 4 wins in 5 days, got us the championship, and super proud of them. And then they had a 3.14 GPA. We had 3 students with 4.0s. 19 out of 21 had a 3.0 and above. So super proud of them for that. And here we are, beginning season 3 in about 6 days. So May 8th, that's when we start season 3. So.
Okay. Well, I was kind of shocked when you talked about your professional career because you don't look that old. You don't look old enough to play.
Well, you know what they say. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna repeat it, but you know what they say. The kids keep me young. They make me try to stay young, but these knees remind me exactly how old I am. You know, this face might say something else, but this back and this knees. I read some people trying to get a BBL. I was like, what about a knee and a back replacement? Can we get those? Yeah, so.
Oh man. Well, that sounds great. I mean, you've coached on various levels, so evidently that's helped you and has led to success of your team this year. But please tell us about your team. Who were your key athletes, and what were some of their accomplishments this year?
Well, we led the league in defense, which is the second time. We 56.3 points per game. They are some of the toughest and hardest working, hard nosed kids, women that I know, and they have to deal with me. And so, I'm grateful that they chose to play for me, and I'm grateful that they, stuck it out with me. I mean, it was a tough season. We had a lot of injuries, nagging injuries, and they just kept pushing. They wanted a championship, and they acted like it. And so, key players, our team was built we over me. Like any night, any player could lead us in scoring, and that's how we recruit. And that's our conversation. Like if you want to come here and be a one man show, this ain't the place for you. We are absolutely a team. It's built on the idea that there's a lot of pressure on these young people to show up every night, and then if you don't show up, we lose. That's not our mantra, and that's not how we work. So it takes the pressure off each individual to just go enjoy the game, do what you do well, and we'll be fine. We're not worried about whether shots go in, because those things that sometimes you can't control, but you can control whether you decide to sit down and guard somebody. So I could go down the list of all of them. There are different things they give. Naomi's tough as nails, hard-nosed player. Blanco, pretty much when she's on, you can't do anything with her. And when she's off, you can't do nothing with her either. But King, super tough card. Just finding her way this year. Miriam, a great defender, but also just can flat out shoot the ball. Saya is a growing post player, just learning her game. Sienna, a transfer from Virginia Union, made strides this year, learning how to post. Um, Man, we had Syrian Pitts, not her best year, but just, athletic. I used to call her a deer. Can run like a deer, jump like a deer. Um, Super athletic, can disrupt the game on both ends. Dodgenick on field, just a bucket, a walking bucket. And the problem, what's funny is the two best players that we have were out here injured. I wasn't even on the floor. And so hopefully they'll be back. Right now they're back. They stay healthy, and the additions that we've made this year, um, we are recruiting for. When I talk to players coming in, we're not recruiting for a CIAA championship. We're recruiting for a national championship. And so that's the mindset we have. That's when we go in the weight room. The picture, we know where the Final Four is. It's in Ohio next year. It's in Cleveland. And we have several players from Ohio. So we know that that is the motivation. And we know that doing well in non-conference, doing well in the CI, and doing well after that, we'll, let's go home.
Okay. Okay. Well, you kind of jumped ahead of me on one of my questions, so I'm going to let you finish out on that one, and ask you, what do you look for in prospects, and can you tell us about some of your current signees?
I don't know how much I can say because they haven't signed officially, but I give you a roundabout. Um, what I am looking for, if I am recruiting a high school kid, they are Division One, like they are absolutely Division One. High school kids have some difficulty with our system and our structure and the level. So I haven't done well, honestly, with high school kids coming in and playing. They need a year with me for sure to gather themselves about the intensity level, the expectation, and the responsibility to show up every single day. I'm JUCO heavy and transfer heavy, which I have like four transfers and three JUCOs coming in. They are. I'm looking for high energy players. That's one of the things we didn't have. It was a lot on one person to be the person constantly talking, talking, talking. So this year we look for players that have their own lighters. You know what I'm saying? They don't need anybody to light their fire. They they don't. They're not looking. Wasn't looking for matches. We looking for lighters. Okay, we got matches. We looking for lighters, and so that was the most important thing. Um, People who want to win. A lot of our kids transfers came from programs. They watched us all year, came from programs, and they want to be a part of winning. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. And I hope they understand. I think they understand um, how we win. And it was a little different from everybody else. I just feel like at the end of the day, the strength in numbers. It's a long season. Depending on one or two players, by the end of the year, it's wear and tear on the body, legs, and I can continue to bring in another set, another set. That's how Glenville State beat us to death. Um, they just kept bringing legs in. And that was the plan this year, but we were so banged up that a lot of the kids that would be there to be extra depth, they were not available at the end of the season.
Okay. Okay. Well, tell us a bit about your conference and the competition that you played this year.
I love this CIAA, and I'm so grateful. It is to play in it, to coach in it. Uh, some of the greatest coaches are here, and I know some of the hardest playing players are here. I don't care if in some conferences, the one meets the 11 and it's a blowout. That's not here. That's not ever here because they play so hard. Um, and the intensity level that if you don't come to play, you're gonna get beat. It doesn't matter if you're the 1 seed or the 11 seed. And I love that about the CI because it's not everywhere. I've been in other conferences. I just like the level of intensity, the level of fight, the level of respect for one another. Um, I love, absolutely love CIAA. Just so grateful to coach in it, and then just the minds. I see the adjustments. I like for me, it's always um, a chess match between the coaches. What can I do differently? How much do I hold out to the tournament? How much can I get by during the season to be able to do something, that maybe they hadn't seen in the tournament? Uh, I absolutely love I love the X and O and the film and that stuff like that. And I know I don't get to do enough of it because I just absolutely just love uh, um, watching scenarios, game management, um, being a student of the game. So I hope that just, and I see that not only just on the women's side, but the men's side. I love watching the men's side of the CIAA because they got some ridiculous coaches over there. I say all the time, you can coach in the CI, you can coach anywhere because you're good. You're very good. Just because how you might not have the most talented. So now you have to put together scenarios, sets, systems that work around maybe not the most skilled player, but what are they good at? Where can I put them that will make them excel? And when you got a Flage, an Angel Reese, you can say, hey, go out there and do what you do. Right? You know what I'm saying? You just got, work them personalities, make it do what it do. But right here, nah, you have to put these kids in the best position to be successful, and you have to create a system for them sometimes, or you have to recruit for your particular system. And so I just, the mind of these CIAA coaches is absolutely amazing. I watch them. I watch all. I love Virginia Union. Don't tell nobody. Virginia Union men's coach. Let's see, Winston coach. Let's see, Fayetteville State. Okay, first of all of them. Let me just say that I just like all of them. I love Serena at Fayetteville State. Nadine Amon, I think, at Virginia State is doing an amazing job. Just starting. Terry VU. I mean, it's just, I'm gonna stop calling names, but I like everybody pretty much. John C. Smith, he did a great job his first year. I mean, here we go. But I love, Lamont at Winston. She always do her thing, but it's just the chess match that makes me a better coach. That every night I got to go out there and make adjustments because they're coming with something.
Well, I think that actually the CIAA more than any other HBCU conference, well, at least in the NCAA, is known as a basketball conference, and well, without a doubt, world renowned for having the best basketball tournament,
Mm-hmm.
not just on the court, but just the atmosphere, the ancillary events, just the whole nine is, you know, it's a happening. It's a happening that most of us in HBCU land know about. I'm still trying to make my way there just for that experience.
Yeah, I my last year was my first one as a coach, but period as anything. Um, this year, what the CI did compared to the year before, they made leaps and bounds and what they tried to do for the student athlete experience, and it was absolutely amazing. Shout out to the commissioner for spearheading that. The kids absolutely loved it. Fan base was amazing. Atmosphere was like, just one of the things the kids talked about the whole time was like, yo, it's crazy here. And that was one of the recruiting things for me, for sure. Like, I took a video of the fans and I'm like, hey, dog, who playing in front of that? Huh? You better come here. You better stop playing. So it was absolutely great. Great experience. They did. I mean, if the CI continues to just push what they did, make the leaps and bounds that they made from just my first year, last year, and this year. I mean, I'm super stoked about what they're gonna try to pull off next year because we during time. I was like, that Tamar, is that Tamar? Stop. What play we running? Hey, focus. But we loved it. I mean, it was just it's an amazing experience. Just to love. I tell my kids all the time, anytime you wear ECSU in the airport, anywhere, somebody gonna speak, okay? And I've had many other shirts on before from my home institution. And we just walk by, but I can't go nowhere with this on without something. Hey, how you doing? I'm alone. Okay. And that type of culture, I mean, I love it. I mean, that's all I got for it. I absolutely love it, and you have to experience it. People talk about it. From I was an outsider for a long time. It started at Central, and I was like, okay, this is all right. This is cool. And then Elizabeth City just took it to another level for me. But absolutely love the culture, the village feel of HBCU.
Okay. Well, tell us about your postseason this year.
Postseason. What is that? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's been a whirlwind, right? We had 7,200 banquets, congratulations ceremonies, but we're grateful to everybody that wanted to congratulate the kids. They deserve it. They worked super hard. Um, we just had our last banquet last week, and we were so excited. It was great. They had best chicken and in the business. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful music. You got jazz and chicken. We good to go. You know what I'm saying? It was a great experience. We thank our Elizabeth City manager and all our board of trustees, board of visitors for putting that on for us. So grateful. Great experience to say, that they thought enough of us, and our volleyball team won it too. So it was a dual celebration. They got their rings. Ours have not come in yet, but we're patiently waiting on them. Uh, but it was amazing um, to be appreciated. Title IX's 50-year anniversary, so that was pretty cool too. It's just a perfect storm, we call it. Um, I would have liked to have won last year too, and it could have been, we could have celebrated both of them, but we'll take it. We're gonna be grateful. But postseason, that's mostly what it's been. I did not do postseason workouts because we were super injured. I think 80% of us, 80% of the players were hobbled with something. So we really rested. We just lifted, we still lift. But we're gonna start this summer early, getting together and really focus and get ready for the year.
Okay. Okay. Now, who did you end up playing during your tournament?
Oh man,
During
you
the
gonna make me
CIAA?
remember. Okay, we played St. All first. We had Bowie, and then Johnson C. Smith, and then we played Shaw. That's who we played. 4 games in 5 days. We're the first ever fifth seed to win the CI. Now we had no business being a fifth seed, but we thank God for the fifth seed. How about that? So, but yeah, that was the journey. It was tough. I almost didn't get past St. Aug because they were first of all, St. Aug super talented from the beginning, athletic, great guards, which always gives us a little trouble. Um, and we had a little difficulty, but Blango's had a game of her life, and that's what saved us that game. Her, and then Bowie. Who did he play next? Bowie. Yep, Bowie. Blanco played out of her mind, and everybody played well. We were super excited about that game, just because, um, you know, they've been whooping. They whooped us all year. There's like those 2 teams that have beat us twice that we had to run into that we knew that we didn't play well against either time. And so my conversation was like, they have no idea who you are. They have never been introduced to you. So just go say hello. And they went out there and they played very well against Bowie. Johnson, see, man, my girl, what's her name? The guard. What's her name? I recruited her to transfer from Georgia. I knew she's a monster, man. I just, and it came down to one rebound and one defensive stop, and we got it. I mean, that game could have went either way, and it would have been, you had to deal with whatever happened. But they played a great game, and we wasn't worried about championship at all. And I don't mean no harm or no disrespect, but there was no way we were gonna go back and lose again. Like I knew, we woke up and it was snowing. We was like, today is the day. I mean, that's just. I looked out the window of our hotel and I was like, "Is that snow?" Oh yeah, game over. And the kids were like locked in pregame, not a word said. They were like that the whole tournament. Like when we went to practices, like me and most of the time Coach Wood and I'd be like, "Hey, come on." We were like, oh, "Okay." Like they led practices. They led everything. And a player-led team is a winning team. The reason why we're up and down during the years that the leadership, it clicked that this is it. And me and Coach Wood just stepped back. They did what we asked them to do, and that was the results. And so the conversation was at the end of the year is like, y'all bought in for 60% of the year and won the championship. What could you do if you actually bought in from the beginning? They were like, that makes sense, Coach. I said, really? Does it? Does it make sense? But sometimes they got to learn that way. It's hard for me because I hate to lose. But every loss got us this championship, and we learned something from each one. And they were amazing down the stretch as a team, and really pulled together, made the right decisions, didn't care who scored, didn't care. Everybody was guarding, everybody was talking. Oh, they were locked in. That locked in team there, that was special.
Okay. Now, I'm assuming, so you got the automatic bid to the NCAAs.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Who did you end up playing?
The national champions, Glenville State. You know how we get. We always go get the number 1 seed. And let me just say this. There was not 8 teams better than us that was in our region. And I mean that there was at least 4 teams there that I know that 4 of our CIAA teams would have whooped them by 10 to 15 points easily. Mm-hmm. And I said what I said. The disrespect, yeah, but it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. But to always get the 8 seed, nah, it ain't cool. It's very disrespectful. Now, Glenville State is good. They're very good. They're champions for a reason. Mm-hmm. But there were 7 other teams there, including us. And I'm telling you, we wasn't the 8th seed in them 8. 3, 4 maybe, but not 8. Mm-hmm. Now, would Glenville State might have beat us later? Probably. But we were not the 8th seed. Right. At all. But it's okay. Because the only way to stop people from doing that is to beat the 1 seed. And so, okay, challenge accepted. It is what it is. Whatever seed we get, only thing that we can control is what we do. And we'll be better prepared. Everything is with this generation, sometimes it's hard for them to hear you. They have to see what you said. And watching Glenville State, everything that I said about them, they were exactly that. Great team, super athletic, play hard, track meet, whole game, bodies on bodies, got to stay focused, can't turn the ball over. I mean, they're well coached. When I took the job, that's the team I looked at and how to recruit. and how we would have to play to be successful to win a national championship because they won it. And so um, I've been looking at them for 3 years. And so we are building a team um, that everybody is a threat, and that was Glenville.
So, do you think Coach Staley's words will resonate maybe with the people who do the seating that maybe you need to look at HBCUs differently and especially because it always bothered me you would have an HBCU who won. I'm just throwing out a number, who was 26-5 going into the
That's who you
tournament, but they are the last seed, and yet you got a team that was 17-10
mm-hmm.
seated higher than them. Because the same, I just interviewed another coach who actually, it's an HBCU in a PWI conference,
Mm-hmm.
and they still ended up with the lowest seed and having to play a perennial power.
Well, it's the disrespect for me. Um, I hope they listen to Coach Stanley, but the greatest lesson is a L. Like when we start messing up brackets, when the 8 seed ends up beating the 1 seed, and it mess up uh, the seeding, mess up the host team, then you really start. Let me look at these teams. Let me look at who they're playing. Let me see how they're playing. Let me see how tough. let me watch. I mean, I just don't think sometimes it's not enough eyes on, not enough people that see um, the games that the CIAA plays or the HBCU. There are not enough eyes watching us play, so they don't know how well. They're just looking at the record and not the games, who we playing against, how well we played against certain teams, and then sometimes it's the ability to play those teams because travel expenses. Most of the time, they want us to come to them or not, or won't do a home and home. So it makes it difficult to even play those teams, so you can see us head to head. Um, and then we get tired of traveling too. Like we got to drive, we got to go 6 hours, and then you won't come play us. At least let's do a home and home. But that's not, And then we got to make an executive decision. Is it best for us to just go over there and play this game, and then we lose games in our conference because we're so tired because of travel? So, it's just trying to make the right decision for your team, and hopefully it works out in the long run.
Okay, okay. Well, what honors did you receive this year?
Uh, let's see. There's a few. Um, I think I got the Big House Games Coach of the Year award. Um, I got the key to my town. It's beautiful things. Can't tell me anything now. I told my mama we made it. I got the key to Maxwell. We can open up the 2 stores there. You can't tell me anything. Now I'm ready. Made it. Um, those are the ones I remember, but I don't. I'm sure there were probably more, but those are the ones I remember. Um, my award is when we went to our athletic banquet and they called the GPA awards, and everybody at my table got up. That's mine. That's the one that I put my chest out about right there, because we all gonna stop playing basketball. You best believe that, regardless. We all gonna have to work, and I want these kids to graduate and go off and do great things for their families and for themselves. So that was a really exciting time for me to see them on stage. And, other teams might not have a whole team up there, but all mine up there, and I'm just sitting back, proud parent. And so, that was pretty cool. That's mine that I look forward to, and then just epiphanies, watching them grow as women. Um,
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that we are working on is conflict. Conflict. What's the word?
Resolution.
Resolution. Yeah,
Hmm.
conflict resolution. Text messages have ruined all of us, where we don't know how to communicate, and so teaching them how to find your voice, articulate how you feel. It's valid. Receive from a place of not how you see it, but what it is. And
Hmm.
so when one of them get that, we throw a party. You hear me? You throw a whole party because it's not it's not something that's being taught. They're very internal,
Hmm.
and then blow up about toothpaste. You know what I'm saying? When it ain't about the toothpaste, it's about the 42 things that you just held that has nothing to do with the situation. So just trying to just build them as women. That's that part. Those are the things I want more than anything.
Okay. Okay. So, do you ever get into competitions with your players that hey, I'm Kim graduate. Uh, I
Listen,
did this, I did that when I was in school. So, can you outdo me?
no,
Did you
I
ever
don't.
get in any of
Listen,
that?
my kid's super smart. I don't mess with them academically. You know what I'm saying? We got an engineer, bioengineer, something crazy like that, biology, chemistry, and I majored on. They like, Coach, can you help with inorganic? I said, hey, inorganic almost made me leave school. So I just, I'm just glad I made it. I pray for you. We got tutors over here in pool, and we can stop by and talk to them. But no, they're super smart. Like they are way more focused academically than I was as a student, and I'm super proud of them for that. I think me have trying to be a balance for them. Like they are um, super. They put a lot of pressure on themselves uh,
Hmm.
to do everything right, and just teaching them that's not possible, and that's a hard way to live. You know what I'm saying? Give yourself some grace, and what you cannot change, you cannot worry about. Like you flunked that test. Okay. Now how long are we gonna cry? I just need to know because we can't cry long because there's another test coming. Okay. Uh, Moving to the next thing, moving forward and learning from everything. I think that's the biggest thing with them. I don't really have to stay on a lot of them for academics because they take care of that.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Well, tell us about Elizabeth City State University and what are some of the major programs there. And even though you mentioned it briefly, what majors do your athletes tend to take?
Let's see. We have a whole bunch of kinesiology kids, definitely. Super proud of Naomi. She got accepted to the doctorate program at Elon. She just finished her dissertation, thesis, something. I don't know. She's she's super smart people, and I enjoyed listening to her. Super proud of her for that. We have bio robotics engineering something. Who does that? Okay, we have biology. We have someone who wants to be an English teacher. Bless her heart. She wants to be a high school teacher. That is really what she wants. This is beautiful. you know, um, uh, Criminal justice, several. Um, let's see, emergency management, psychology. Let's see. We have the gamut. We have accountant as well. But one of the great programs we have is the aviation program. We're the only HBCU and college on this side that has a 4-year aviation program, period. And it's top of the line. So people can come here and learn all they need here. And we have 12 planes, 11 or 12 planes that our Chancellor, Dr. Dixon, on here that belong to ECSU. So uh, Dr. Dixon be on it. Any and everything that this university needs. She's always an advocate for our students, our student athletes, and this great school. So anything that you want to get to, definitely psychology, STEM. I mean, doing a lot of things in STEM program. This is a place to be.
Okay. Now, is Elizabeth City is that part of the overall North Carolina system?
Yes, and we have
University of
NC
North Carolina.
Promise.
I
Yeah,
apologize.
the NC Promise, where tuition is $500 in state, and what's the 500 in state, 2,500 out of state. So yeah, absolutely, the NC Promise. If you're a North Carolina student, you gotta be crazy not to come here. I'm telling you right now. Just go ahead and tell you. If you're from North Carolina, come on. And even for our out of state kids, it's still cheaper to come here and get a quality education and a great experience. Um, I'll tell you this: Viking Fest for the last 2 years, Dr. Wade and his crew, pretty well. Whew, child, I don't even practice. I don't even fight it. I just like, hey, enjoy. I'll see y'all at the Viking Fest. Don't let homecoming be your home going, okay? So make sure you got act like you got some sense. Represent ECSU well, ECSU women's basketball well, and enjoy yourself. And we'll see you at practice on Monday. But it's just, oh man, it's just an experience. Like you really have no clue until you're in it, and like even every department around here is connected to our student athletes, not just our student athletes, but our students doing well. Um, ECSU CAB is essential for ECSU women's basketball. Our cheer team, the D Lights, Sound of Class. I mean, our football team's always supportive of everything that we do. Coach Marcus, um, our men's coach is doing some great things over there. ECSU is heading in the right direction, and you may not see it now, but you can read too.
Okay. Okay. We'll definitely be looking out for that. Now, what kind of support do you receive for your program from the department, the institution, and your fans?
Listen, we got. Let me just put this out here. We have the best fans in the business. Let me just put that out there. Our student body, I like to call them intellectual trolls. You know, they do scout reports before the game. They get the rosters, they get the kids' names. It's like that's number 12. That's Jada, Jada. So they're screaming through the whole game. You from Florence? Okay, I got families. I mean, they're amazing. Okay, our Royal Court, cab, any department, just they just show up for us, and that's special. Our AD DeBose, he's big on the student athlete experience and trying to ensure that they have a great experience. I know my background is D1, and it shouldn't be a difference between D1 and D2 other than the number, as far as I'm concerned. You know, we should get the same gear. We should get the same accommodations. We should stay in the night. We should eat well. Everybody need to eat, right? So, and he's ensuring that we have that. And then Dr. Dixon is one of the greatest decisions when choosing a university as a coach. You want to make sure that your chancellor likes sports, because having the support of your chancellor is super important. And she wants us to do well. She understands that if the sports do well, everybody do well. There's more applications. There's more application fees. That's more notoriety for the school. That's more word of mouth. Because you can't talk about ECSU women's basketball without talking about the first four letters, and that's ECSU.
Mm-hmm.
So, being out 4 games on ESPN Plus, I mean, people who had never heard of ECSU had an opportunity to see it, broadcast it, replay it over and over. The reason why I know it can be replayed over and over, because my daddy replays it over and over. Every time I come home, I was like, Dad. I was like, Dad. And I hear it in the background. CIAA champion. So people get to know ECSU, and it's worth it. I mean, not just the athletics, but there's great people on this campus, and we are a product of those great people.
Okay. Now this is one you just very briefly mentioned it earlier in the interview. Um, can you tell us how you deal with the mental health aspects of athletics for you and your athletes?
Well, like this whole um, off season right now, um, I am constantly in contact with how to do mental health better for my student athletes. Right now, before the year starts, we always do set up a bi-weekly um, meeting with our mental health specialists on campus. The mental health programs all throughout the year that's um, led by assistant coach on the men's team. They done a great job this year with some of those programs. Um, Also, we have 2 weeks checkups with me one on one, and also they can come text me. We have a code word that they text that means drop everything. I need you. Period. No questions asked. Everything stops. We go see about this person. Um, but I still think it's inadequate. And they have the right to have mental health days. Coach, I need a day. Well, in order to have a day, these are the things that um, I need you to do during that day. I need you to contact Dr. Johnson. I need to see you. I need to put my eyes on you. I need to hear you. And then, but I still think it's inadequate. So we're gonna try something different next year, a little more structured. Um, Sometimes I feel like you ever gave a kid a laptop, a toddler laptop. It's a great tool, but I just didn't really feel like they were ready for the laptop and that they knew how to use it properly to get everything out of it. And that's how I feel like about the mental health days. So I'm gonna give them some more structure, um, scheduled times that are mandatory, um, to be more proactive. Everything is reactive in our lives, but if you have the tools before something breaks down, you can
Mhm.
fix it. But it's hard to get the tools or something when it's already broken down. So that's what I am working on this summer to create a mental health manual for our student athletes, checklists, different resources they can use during the season. And I am absolutely looking for anybody who can come in once a month. It ain't got to be the same person to speak with my kids about mental health. Don't send me an invoice though, because I ain't got it. But I need your help though. I need help. I need help in this area because it's not my. I tell my kids all the time, I am not a mental health specialist, but I am your advocate. So
Mhm.
um, I need help to address. That's the most pressing thing right now, and I absolutely feel inadequate in that area. Um, and I don't have no pride when it comes to helping my young ladies. And
Mhm.
that's just one of the things I need. I need someone. It can be a different person to provide some type of um, just another voice
Mhm.
for them, at least once a month. Um, but that's what I'm working on right now.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, I know you mentioned Coach Chow earlier and the influence that she's had upon you. Who are some of the other big influencers in your career?
My presbytery, like my group, who I call before I do anything, um, is I call Don. I text Don Staley. I call Charlotte Smith. I call Coach Glance. Um, and I call Tamika Reed um, at Jackson State, just to get feedback. Um, and I'm hoping Coach Yo and I have got a little relationship that we're trying to work on, mentorship. Try to go down there this summer and just sit
Mhm.
under her for a little bit, just to learn. And next week, I'm going to the Minnesota Lynx training camp under my former coach, Coach Reeves, just to glean like nothing. Just sit, learn, take in everything that I possibly can in the time that they will allow me.
Mhm.
But I think Charlotte Smith out of that group is the one that I really talk to about different things. She's been coaching almost 20 years. So just different things that I run into that I want to go left, and sometimes she said, Tanisha, just don't say anything. It's gonna work out. It's gonna work itself out. And she right 99.99% of the time. Um, so those are my Don Staley a lot, just of how she carries herself and um, how she's willing to take the bullets for say what we are absolutely thinking,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't have the longevity, the stability to say, but we all feel the exact same way about what she's saying, and
Mm-hmm.
grateful for her voice in the game and
Mm-hmm.
what she's doing for Black women. Um, let's see, Coach Yo, I absolutely love her, and Tamika Reed, and what she's done at HBCU, which is one of the things that I'm super excited about, just having the opportunity to take a HBCU to the highest level.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, those are great influences, and to be able to reach out to them, especially when you need them, you know, wow, that's just amazing. And actually, after Coach Staley made her statements about Cheney at the tournament, I sent her a message. I don't know if she read it or not, but I sent her a message because one of the things that people do not talk about often, and I'm gonna have to get some of them on my program, is the fact that the first male-dominated governing body to actually have a women's basketball national championship was actually the NAIA in
Hmm.
'81, and that that particular championship game is totally unique because it featured two HBCUs,
Mm.
Kentucky State versus Texas Southern, which
Oh,
my alma mater, Kentucky State, won. Big ups. But
just throw that in there.
right, right. And then of course the next year was the year that Cheney made it.
Hmm.
Like and it's like, so HBCUs have done quite a bit, and most people don't realize the historical significance of HBCUs, especially in athletics. Um, Even on the men's side, there's only been three basketball programs on the men's side in what you would consider major or mid-major basketball to have won, to have three-peated. Two of them are HBCUs. Tennessee A&I was the first one. Of course, UCLA had their big run, and then Kentucky State, my alma mater, once again, you know, they also did the same thing, and that Kentucky State team featured a guy who, at when he left college, he was the all-time leading scorer in basketball. Period. He is still the all-time leading scorer for the NCAA.
Okay.
And his teammate, who played 3 years instead of four, is he's the only guy in the top 10 for career rebounders that only played 3 years. And this guy left Kentucky State in '71, was drafted third in the NBA draft, and he still holds the single season record for rebounds with 799. But nobody talks about these people.
Right.
And I think that's a big problem. Big House, Gangs, he doesn't get enough props. Um, Earl to Pearl,
Girl,
even
mom.
though he's done a lot, he doesn't get nearly enough props. And it's so many other people that we could go, talk about. I said, even on the women's side, quite a few of them who I know, they just don't get enough of the props, and I think that's a big problem. And I don't know, maybe that might also feed into this idea that HBCU should have this low seed whenever they go to tournament. And it's like, okay, don't get it twisted. Don't forget that Virginia Union has won national championships in 3 different decades with the same coach.
Yep.
So let's say it. Hopefully that will change. Hopefully that will change. So I'm finished with my rant.
Okay, that's
But as we get ready to wrap this up, this is the time that I give coaches to give shout outs to anyone who they want to recognize.
um first shout out always is to my Lord and Savior. Um, I ain't nothing without Him, and that's pretty much all these gifts are from Him, and what I do with them is my gift back to Him. So I'm grateful for every opportunity um, that I have, um, and my family. They the coolest, they the best. My brother, probably my biggest fan. Man, Drake, he went to North Carolina Central. He's the one that sort of kind of turned me on to the HBCU world. Just how he changed as a man from going to a HBCU because he was a mess before he went there. But he came out like a whole nother person, entrepreneur, head on straight, uh, building a multi-million dollar business. I mean, he's my superhero. So my brother, my mom and dad, uh, and then my family. I got the coolest family ever. They've always showed up for me, and that's a lot of people don't have that. So I'm grateful, and that's what makes me want make sure that my kids have family because I understand how important it is. It can be chosen or it can be biological, but you're still family. Um, my university, Dr. Dixon is my former greatest mentor, um, role model. Um, to be able to sit in the same room and have a conversation about uh, leadership, women in leadership, how to handle different situations the right way. To have that type of mentor is invaluable. I don't believe that God allows you to be around some things if He doesn't have some things for you. So you can, um, my assistant coach, Coach Woodard, I mean, he the best in the business, wisdom wise, um, things he's been coaching longer than I've been living. How about that? And so he's forgot more basketball than I know. Um, his ability to just respect me as head coach, because some folks can't do that. Never had an issue. I don't ever have to worry about whether he's making the right decisions for me. Like I know that staff is the biggest decision you'll ever make as a coach because he'll tear up your program or he'll take it to the next level. And I'm grateful that I won't have that worry. You know, let's see, Dr. Dixon for sure. My AD, the boss, he's a visionary. He stays on me, pushes me, challenges me in areas that um, I don't like to do. I'm pretty good in front of the camera, but I hate to be in front of it. So he makes me do stuff I don't want to do. And so I'm appreciative for people who, I'm good with just going and coach and then just go back to my corner. But I'm trying to teach my young ladies to, sometimes the prize is in the uncomfortable place. And so if I want them to be uncomfortable, then I have to be uncomfortable as well. And so I'm grateful for him making me uncomfortable a lot. So, and then my kids, they cool. They are tremendous women. Um, I don't want coaches should never forget that they are not a coach without players. And so, um, and I'm not that good. They're that good. And so, um, I'm grateful for them. Challenging me as a person more than anything, because they bring up stuff I thought I had got delivered from. So I so I got to go back to the altar and be like, wait, whoa. I thought I had got that out, but they make me grow, and they challenge me to be a better person and to be integral in everything that I do. To be the same person in front of them as I am when I'm not in front of them. And so I'm grateful, grateful to them, and more than anything. So no, my shout outs to my kids, tearing my nerves up, but I'm gonna stick beside them though. I'm gonna stick beside them. They mine. Ain't nobody else gonna talk about them. I'm gonna talk. But yeah, that's it. And thank you for people like you who take time to do some things for women's basketball and HBCUs. It's important. Every media outlet that thinks enough of us to give us a platform to talk about what makes us great, what makes us. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's our pleasure. And we thank you, Coach Lewis, for participating in this chat. We hope that you and your program continue to succeed, and we will follow your developments. And I want to thank you, the viewers, for watching this episode of Chat with HBCU Champions. Please visit ricefamegroup.org for more information on replays and HBCU information. Have a blessed week.
Yeah. Now I'm talking about young shakes. Chicago 2 representatives. Just a change. And this is for my city.
Hey, I do it for my city. I don't plan on going down. If he think I'm going down, then he gon' first round. For my city, I ain't never been a chump. And if he thinking I'm a chump, watch him get his head lumped. For my city, I don't plan on going down. If he think I'm going down, then he gon' first round. For my city, I ain't never been a chump. And if he thinking I'm a chump, watch him get his head lumped. For my city, cause I feel like I love her so much, like I owe her so much for supplying her touch. I will always respect her, I will never neglect her. Bet you hear her naming like every one of my records. No, I'm not stunting, ain't no future in your frontin', right? Gotta get this money, watch me get it all night. Planet flying top flight, higher than space stations. That's why I gotta grind, cause I need it and I hate waiting.